Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so excited to have you here. We're going to dive right into your reading. What messages do we have for Pisces, please, Spirit? What messages does Pisces need to know right now for Pisces? Let's see for Pisces. Woo. I'm feeling abundance for Pisces. All right, you guys are getting inspiration, hope, passion, caring, and perseverance. Gosh, Pisces, this feels like a past situation here that may be getting ready to come out of the end of, like it may be ready to close out some cycle here. You know, I just heard love endures all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things. Love endures all things. That's from 1 Corinthians in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13. Anyway, what I'm picking up on is it's like something that it's like something that had some kind of beginning, and it was filled with hope. It was filled with promise. It was filled with potential. It was an ace. You know, an ace is something that's divinely given to us by the universe that, you know, has the potential, right, to become the 10, right? And it's what we do with it that matters. It's what we do with it that determines what happens. And when you're talking about a relationship, it's not just what do you do with it, but it's like, what does your person also do with it? And I feel like there was a strong attraction, and a really a deep, genuine care for each other here. As I'm saying this, I'm getting, for some of you, this is a past situation which you've held space for, that is persevering, that's coming out the other side. For others of you, I think this is something that either you have some kind of feeling that it's coming into your life. I feel an anticipatory feeling, like you've either had a dream about a past person recently, or someone's been on your mind, or you have the feeling that you're going to be meeting someone new. And then for others of you, this is something that is somewhere in progress, right? Because all of our timelines are different in general readings. It's really hard with general readings because you are getting bombarded with energy, and it is all sort of, it would be very nice to be like, oh, it's all very clear and concise and it's all like this. But it's not, at least not for me. It's not that black and white. But this is what I'm getting. And with these dolphins coming out the other side, it feels very celebratory. It feels very, it's like, wow, we made it. Or I had hoped that we would, and we did. Let's see what else we got here for Pisces, please, Spirit. Okay, yeah, see, something is coming towards you. Something, oh my God, you guys, seriously? It holds potential. I literally said that. Wow, and the egg thing is coming back again. Ouch. Oh, still with the rib. Ooh, when I bend over and it hits the arm of the chair. Wow. Gets me every time. What is happening here? Wow, man. What a combination here. I'm actually going to clarify. Guys, I usually don't read this early in the morning. It's It's wild. See how the sun is coming between their faces? I actually have sun coming in my window that's doing this to my eye. And it's weird because it keeps bringing me here. It's like it almost feels more comfortable to look at this because it matches what's actually happening here. And, you know, it just feels very spiritual. I'm just going to tell you that, like, the overarching, most important aspect of what I'm getting from all of this so far is this spiritual energy, and it's giving me very much like the Two of Cups. Okay, what is stealing, please? My God, I just said the Two of Cups, and there it is. And there's the Hierophant in reverse and the Five of Pentacles in reverse with the Moon card. Okay. Wow. I feel like someone didn't believe in commitment, or they weren't, wow, underneath the moon is the sun. Divine masculine and divine feminine. You know, I feel like there is this energy of like, we're together here. But there's like this, and it's like, I'm with you, but like, don't ask me to make it official. Don't ask me to like really commit. Don't ask me to like show up in a way that causes me to sign a contract. Or it's like, I'm not capable of this. And why? Because I have these overriding fears that prevent me from trusting, believing, being able to completely connect. It's like, I can connect with you on a spiritual level, or I can connect with you on a love level. I can I can sort of experience this connection. I can be here. I can kind of do the right things or say the right things at times, but there's something always in the back of my mind, or there's something unsettled or unhealed, or it's fear. It's fear-based. It's the fears that we all have. You know, it's like a fear of intimacy, a fear of trusting someone, a fear of abandonment, a fear of not being worthy. Like, all of these things I feel like are playing in the back of this person's head. And it's like, as long as you don't ask too much from me, I can show up for you. We can have this. But, you know, the minute you ask me to clarify, the minute you ask me to make something clear, the minute you need something more than just me kind of being here, I disappear, is really how it feels like with the Moon card. And especially with the Sun card underneath it, it's like you're asking for clarity, and I can't. That's where I can't. And especially with commitment, it's like when you want to name this, when you want to call this something, when you want to make this like more permanent or more viable or more well, yeah, official, you know, don't ask me to do that, because that goes beyond the pale. Which, I mean, you know, how weird is that? I mean, how, like, I don't, you know, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to judge anyone here, but like, if you're already showing up for somebody and you're already basically like doing everything that you would do, you're just not calling each other that. What's the big deal in calling each other that? Like, where's the dilemma with that? Why do so many people have a problem with that? Because it's just words. It's just a label. It's not earth-shattering. It doesn't really change the name of the game. Oh, you know what I just got? It's the expectation that comes with it. And it's that you can hold me accountable to something beyond, you know, it's like you have the grounds to say to me, you owe me this, or, you know, this is how it should be. You could hold it over their head, or they could fail at it. I think this person, you know, for some of you with the Two of Cups in reverse, they may have made a decision to let go of this connection, or to let you go, or to watch you kind of slip away. I think that for some of you, you had gotten frustrated and you had spoken up and you had said, you know, that this isn't working for me. It's almost like there was some kind of conversation that really needed to happen, but it didn't really go. I feel like it didn't go the way either one of you wanted it to. With 2 5s in reverse, it's like it brought a change, but it wasn't for the good. And with the 2 in reverse, it's like it was a decision, but it wasn't the right one. And then we have this karma card. And, you know, to me, this is, okay, this is the result of what, this is the result of the decision. So one of you, there's pain, I feel like, on both sides. You have this drowning card, and it says not all is what it appears to be, and you can only see her eyes, and they're like, the rest of her is submerged underwater. You can't see it. And what is water but emotion, right? So I think that both people are feeling a lot more than they're really letting someone else see, but there's like something unflinching in these eyes. Like, I refuse to let you see that I'm suffering. I refuse to let you see that I'm struggling and that this is really hard for me and that I really can't breathe like this. You know what I mean? But, and so there's some karma. And it's interesting because I feel something slow about this karma. Even though there's like fire in this card, I feel something really slow about it, like the emergence of it. And it's giving me it's actually giving me like the person that couldn't handle like commitment or whatever this was, it is like suffering or struggling or feeling submerged or immersed for much longer. And the other person is moving through a healing process and rising up out of it much faster. And it might not seem that way, but this drowning card says not at all what it appears. So this can be where, you know, someone is putting on a good front. I feel that very much. Oh gosh, you guys, sorry, that was my phone that fell. Where it's like, you know, I refuse to let you see that this hurts, or I refuse to let you see that I am not sleeping at night because all I can do is think about you and think about this and think about what could have been, what might have been, but what hasn't been. Here's the thing. For some of you, you're rising up out of these kind of experiences into something brand new. I am just getting that with this. It's like an Ace of Pentacles kind of energy. And this, it's like, for some of you, you are coming, it's like you had this situation that wasn't fair. It feels like, and you were able to heal and you're rising up into a new situation. For some of you, it's like this process is like an emotional rebirth, or it's like something that was like inescapable. You know, water is, you know, it's like a flood. I don't know if any of you have ever been in a flood, but it's like all of a sudden the water's coming in and you really can't stop it. And it's almost like a surreal moment. It's like, you know, it's coming, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And you're like, okay, well, your instinct is to like get rid of the water, but where are you gonna put it? Because there's just more water coming. You can't like just dump it back into the water. That's not gonna help. You know what I mean? So and then it's like, well, I can try to block all the ways that the water is getting in, but the water is building up pressure and it's gonna get in no matter how it's gonna get in. You know what I mean? It's a lot to handle. And so it's kind of, it's sort of an inescapable feeling. And sometimes it takes a minute for you to kind of realize what's going on and to sort of work through the processes in your mind. But that's sort of what it feels like happened to this person. And for some of you, it's like they chose to suppress it, and eventually that dam is going to burst. Maybe not now, maybe not today, maybe not 5 years from now, but it's going to burst eventually. And for others of you, it's like you were able to kind of, you know, move through the situation without the water getting so intense, without the emotions, like without really resisting having the emotions. You felt the stuff, and so you moved through it, and it's either setting you up for a new connection, or if this person also chose to work through it, it could be this person coming back around. But I feel like there is this energy of like something that you manifested is coming through, and it does feel like a relationship. And it does feel like something that has a lot of potential, something that it is a big opportunity here. And it is an ace that can definitely lead to like the Ace of Cups or the Ace of Pentacles that can lead to the 10 of Cups or the 10 of Pentacles. I do feel like this person, you'll be receiving a message. It may come in out of the blue. It may be from this person for some of you. Let's see what we got here. You know, I've said on this channel before that like sometimes dating is a little bit like trying on clothes. You know what I mean? Oh, wow, you guys are really getting this egg thing. And, you know, sometimes with this perseverance, it's being able to persevere and to not take dating personally, and to just sort of be able to accept what is and just move through it and move on and move beyond, you know, past experiences. And until you find the right one, until you find the person that is really meant for you, or the right person at the right time, kind of a thing. So I feel like that could be what's happening here as well. You have this transition that's coming up, and it feels like, Pisces, I don't know that you're really depressed, but I feel more detached. Like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You know, it feels like you've gotten yourself, I don't want to say you've gotten yourself worked up, because I don't think that's really the right phrasing, but you've been passionate about it. You've been worked up about it at different points, and you know that really doesn't help. It really isn't kind of getting you where you want to go. It's really not it's draining ultimately, and it's exhausting ultimately. And so there's sort of this energy of, you know, I would love for it to happen. If it happens, that would be great. But, and this level of detachment is often the level of detachment we reach right before something comes in, right before we get attached, right? It's that energy of just completely letting go and seeing what happens. And what happens here, it feels like, is you get something that you have been manifesting, or you get this opportunity. You have the hummingbird with the sweetness, and the eggs, the incubation. I do feel like there is something that's meant for you that has been, you know, formulating. You know, for some of you, you're already on this path. For some of you, you've already met this person and you are already growing something. But for others of you, it is sort of this energy of going through everything that you need to go through to get you to the place that you need to be, to like really let this in, and to really experience this, and to really enjoy this, and to really be ready for this. And it's like the universe has to bring a lot of things together. I mean, if you think about, like, I think about how random it was when I met my husband. I mean, I was living in a completely different state. I had just like left school. I was going back to school. I had all of these plans and arrangements made. I was just going to visit my grandma for the summer. I went to see my grandma. My horse got stuck in the eye with a branch. I went to get a job at a grocery store to pay to have the eye fixed. And I met my husband there. And he, on the other hand, was living in a totally different city than this was. He got sent there by this company to work through some issues at this location of their business. And he was there doing that. I mean, it was all so random. I mean, when you look back and you go, God, all the things that had to happen for that to be the case, that I would meet him in this podunk little town at this podunk little grocery store. I mean, it is insane. And that's what I'm getting with this hummingbird. You know, hummingbirds absolutely defy all the laws of everything every year when they cross the Gulf of Mexico. This little tiny bird the size of my thumb, you know, you think about how much energy, how many calories a little tiny bird like that can carry. And think about how expansive the Gulf of Mexico is and what they must meet. They must come across storms. They must come across turbulence. They must come across, and they're just this little baby, tiny, little itty bitty little bird. And their wings beat so fast. They go through so many calories. I mean, if you watch them in your yard, they're at the feeder a ton, you know? And they have no flowers to cup water. They have no source of food the whole time. They just defy anything that is possible every single year when they migrate across the Gulf of Mexico. And so it is one of those things where it's like kind of against all odds. All of these things are coming together absolutely perfectly to align you with what is meant for you and with what you're ready for in this moment. You have this energy of horns, dominance with this white purity, innocence. It is giving me this like resistance to, like, I am not going to become cynical. I am not going to let my bad experiences teach me or make me believe or think that love is not the answer. You know what I mean? It's like, I am not going to let my experiences dating or whatever color me to the place where I can't let love in or where I stop believing in love. It's like I'm holding on to this energy, you know, stubbornly almost. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the dove, peace. And for me, this is this person coming towards you. You know, it's like, when we are at a place of peace and acceptance with what has been and what is right now and what will be, whatever life is going to bring with us, when we have that level of detachment and trust in the universe and that everything that comes toward us is in our highest and best good, and it is in how we respond to it and that we are capable of responding to it, and that we don't need to control it. We don't need to make it one way or another. In fact, a lot of times the more we try to control life, the more the suffering is, because we're not accepting what is. Life is going to have its way no matter what. It is. There, you know, you can control, but it's just going to make you disappointed by what shows up. Like, that's not what I asked for. And so you can't see the beauty in what it is. And you're not responding properly to it because you're like, it's not what I wanted. That's not what I asked for. You know what I mean? And you're fighting true nature instead of moving with the flow of it. And with this energy, it's like you're moving with the flow of it. You've released your expectations. You've released the I need it to be like this. I need it to work out like this. I need this person to show up in this way. I need in order to be happy. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. True happiness you will have regardless of your circumstances, you will find it. If you want to really be happy and you understand what happiness actually is, and you're not saying like happiness is me with 2 kids and a dog with this person and this and da 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 da, it looking like this, when you accept what is and what comes along, you know, it can be even better than anything you could have imagined or hoped for. Oh my. Okay. We have a King of Cups and we have a Death card in reverse. We have the 8 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. For some of you, this could be someone who has really deep feelings for you, that doesn't want something to be over, that is coming in to communicate. You guys are getting heavy emphasis on communication here. You have this phone call energy, and then you have this 8 of Wands. Those are both very, like, you're not really leaving anything out for interpretation. It's just the universe telling you there's communication coming in, Pisces. There's something coming towards you. So the King of Cups is someone who has mastered their emotion. They're capable of processing their own emotion. They don't need you to do it for them. This could be someone who has gone through a deep internal transformation with the Death card in reverse. It could also be, wow, holy moly. For some of you, this is someone from your past that they have a lot of regrets for the way things went. They're definitely seeing things much more clearly now. Ace of Swords and the Sun card. Wow. With the Death card in reverse, this is someone where it may be an ending, and it may have been some kind of ending, and it may have been that where they really realized how much they didn't want something to end, that really showed them clearly how they actually felt, and how deep their emotions actually went for you for this situation, which may have thrown them into an energy of deep regret. There is a heavy emphasis on communication here. You have the Ace of Swords, the Sun card, and the 8 of Wands. This is someone that really wants to clear something up. It's become clear within them, and they want to communicate it to you for sure. There has been some kind of transformation. This is for some of you. For others of you, I feel like this is someone who has always learned from their past mistakes and has been through a deep internal transformation where they're coming towards you, someone who is really able to process their own emotions, and someone who appreciates transparency in relationships and in communication. They're not someone who's playing a game. They're someone who's been through a deep internal transformation. And I think it's like all of the past antics and stuff that maybe they used to use, or that maybe they used to tolerate, or that maybe they used to think was like just part of dating or whatever. They're coming at you free and clear of that. They're more interested in saying exactly what they mean and meaning exactly what they say, and they're looking for that in a partner. You know, they are dropping their mask, it feels, because there's a lot of regret of wasting a lot of time here with the 5 of Cups on people who couldn't ever really show up for them. And, you know, they have gained from it this ability to really process their own emotions and to be comfortable feeling all the feelings, but they're looking for something serious. They're looking for someone who can meet them as deeply as they can meet themselves, and they're not interested in playing a bunch of games to uncover whether or not that potential exists. Yeah, there's this energy of a really difficult ending. Yeah, look at that. This is exactly what I freaking just said. You know what I mean? Honestly, like if this is a new person, they've been through really difficult cycles where they just felt, you know, kind of trapped and kind of stuck in 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 a game that was someone else's rules, a game where they never really had all the information or that they were really free to actually be themselves. It's like, and I feel like they may have even been like too honest for the game, or um too trusting, or too innocent, or too naive. And I hate to say too in front of anything. I feel like that's not very kind. But I feel like this is how this person feels, or this is what this person thinks. That, like, you know, if they wanted to be a good person, you know, or they wanted to stay true to themselves and their beliefs and how they feel like they want to approach a situation, it's like other people would have taken advantage of them or did take advantage of them. They dealt with people who were not honest, and who it almost feels like set a trap for this person. Like, you know, if they came at it honestly, or they came at it kind of speaking their truth, other people would take advantage of that. Like the roadmap to how to manipulate this person was just so easy and so obvious that, you know, people did it to get what they wanted here. But I feel like what this person is really craving is to come together in a healthy, balanced way, of honesty, of like, hey, you know, you show me your world, I'll show you my world, and let's see, you know, can we bring these two worlds together? um, Rather than let's play a bunch of games and manipulate each other and try to stay on top of the game, and like, you know, fake get mad at each other and fake make up, and like, I don't know, you know, it's so weird. But it's like this person is no longer willing to tolerate, they're not even going to get in a relationship when they see this kind of behavior, or, you know, this kind of communication, or this kind of approach. It's like they definitely have learned this lesson, and they're definitely ready to close out this cycle. If this is a past person, then I think that this past person, God, 7 of Swords on the bottom of both decks, you guys. Holy hell. Yeah, this person, they, you know, they definitely, this is the 10 of Cups here, or the 9 of Cups, I'm sorry. Wow, that's weird. I said the 10 of Cups. Because I think you put a dog in the picture, and it's the 10 of Cups for me. Oh, my baby's sleeping in the sun. I think that they felt perpetually imbalanced, and it was always just like them trying to keep, you know, trying to kind of hold things together in the past. And, you know, the minute they start to feel that way, I feel like they're going to end it. If this is a past person that's coming back, I feel like they may have been the one that was kind of playing the games, or the one that was sort of keeping things imbalanced. And I think it was because they were afraid of commitment, or they were afraid of sort of being taken advantage of. They may have dealt with deceptive people in their past, and therefore they couldn't really trust, and they hadn't really closed out that cycle properly before they got into this thing with you. And so as a result, the whole time they were in this thing with you, they were balancing this desire for love with all of their fear of their past experiences and the cycle that they were still sort of stuck in. With the Temperance card, the 6 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups, this is someone that is coming to you from a place of emotional contentment, and a place where they are pretty confident. They don't feel like they have anything left to prove to themselves about their worth or their value. They also really are very sure about what they want. And I think the the energy here is that how do I say this? They're not they're not looking to sort of play some cat and mouse game. They're looking to present the truth and to have the truth presented to them. And to say, okay, is this compatible? Now, you know, does that mean there's no flirtation? Does that mean it's all just really straightforward? No, I don't see that. I don't feel that. I do feel like there's still the fun energy, but I do feel like there is an overarching seriousness here that it's like, you know, I'm looking to get to know the true you. I'm looking for honesty. And so as we banter, as we have these conversations, as we get to know each other, I'm not looking for this is tricky because it's like I feel like this person is trying not to look for deception, because what you look for you will find, but they're also really sensitive to it. You know, if what I'm getting is like, if I sense it one time, I'll remember it, but I won't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If I sense it twice, I'm starting to feel like there's a trend. If I sense it 3 times, I'm done. Kind of energy. It's like, this could even be you, Pisces. It's like I have learned this lesson and I have invested and I've gone down this path and I've suffered. And for what? For a relationship with somebody who wasn't even really showing me their truth. A relationship with someone's mask. A relationship with the potential. Not the truth. Not reality. Not, you know, and it's like, there is an energy here of like, I've been manipulated. I've been taken advantage of. I've opened myself up being clear and vulnerable to people who have then taken that information and sort of used it against me. And I'm not going to give up on this idea or this hope of being able to have emotional contentment with another person. In fact, that's all I have left to get. You know, I am emotionally content on my own. You may even have a dog, or they may even have a dog. Like I have someone to love and someone who loves me. But there's just this one last sort of pinnacle thing that I want, that that requires me to trust and be vulnerable with another person in order to have it and to get it. And I'm confident in my ability to show up for that and to be able to have that myself, right? With the 6 of Wands and the 9 of Cups and Temperance. I'm just looking for someone who can match my energy and who is also looking to come together in a healthy way and to like show me their truth and to like want to get to know my truth, you know? And even though I keep getting met with people who are sort of using that against me, or, you know, people who are dishonest or deceptive or who can't really meet me where I am, I'm not giving up. I'm not letting that, you know, be my truth. But the minute I start to feel imbalanced, the minute I start to feel confused, the minute I start to feel like I don't know what to believe, or I feel like you're playing on my fears, you know, in order to manipulate or control me, I'm out. I'm done. The decision is made. There is no decision to make. I've been down that path before. Mm-hmm. Wow. The Queen of Swords in reverse with the Three of Swords upright is like a person who, you know, hurt people. And a Queen of Swords in reverse is like one of the nastier energies in tarot. It's, you know, it's someone who can be so cunning and so manipulative and so harsh and sharp and quick with, you know, unkind words or words that are really going to sting and hurt and really do damage. And the Queen of Swords in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse for me are really narcissistic kind of energies. It definitely is the energy of someone who is going to sort of exploit your weaknesses or like find a pressure point and expose it. And it's like they're really not ultimately looking for love. They're looking for the weakness. They're looking for the vulnerability so that they can, you know, hurt you, or so that they can sort of unload their own suffering onto someone else. But with the King of Pentacles and the World card here, it's like it's kind of giving me this vibe of like, I know what I have to offer and I know my worth and my value, and I'm not going to let some Queen of Swords in reverse make me question it ever again. I'm not even going to let them get close to me. That pentacle feels like a shield. You know, it feels like the energy of like return to sender, you know. And it feels like, you know, it's sort of like, I hate to be so like sort of cliche, but like good triumphing over evil. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, everything about this energy feels like this is really weak, and once it's exposed, it's like so obvious, you know? And this is the truth and the light, and it's strong and it stands on a firm foundation, and you can't fuck with it because it's so strong. You know, it's like anything that comes at me will bounce off of me and go back to you. So like you can come at me with that shit, but it's coming back at you. It's not sticking to me. I refuse to hold that for you. I'm not gonna process your emotions for you. I'm not gonna bear the weight of the things inside you that you can't stand about yourself, so you project them onto me. I'm sorry, but no. And it's like, I'm not actually even sorry, just no. This shield just feels so strong. And so it's almost as if possibly through experiencing really negative, manipulative, deceptive energies, someone has strengthened themselves to the point that they're sort of unfuckwithable. You have the Magician on the bottom of the deck, and this almost feels like the dark side of the Magician, and this feels like the light side of the Magician. This is someone who can really take anything and turn it into a gift. And this is someone who can take anything and sort of turn it into a curse. You know what I mean? Like, someone offering them the gorgeous gift of vulnerability and truth and love, and they turn it into the down, you know, they attempt to take that and turn it into the downfall of the person instead of the celebration of the person and what can be, because they're so low vibrational, because they're so in the shadow of the Magician. And with the King of Pentacles, it's like they're so in the light of the Magician that it's like anything that comes at them, they transmute it into something that is abundant. You know, the Queen and King of Pentacles are those that, you know, take anything and turn it into abundance, you know, into a gift, into something better than it was. So, yeah, wow. I mean, here we're getting 2 8s. Wow. So you've got the 8 of Cups and you have the 8 of Pentacles. And yeah, I mean, again, the Queen of Swords in reverse and the 3 of Swords is getting clarified by the 8 of Cups. This may be someone that you left, that you went, you walked away from, that it's interesting because, especially, I mean, the 8 of Cups is a Pisces card. You see the Pisces symbol right there. But it's kind of like, you know, how do I want to say this? It's like, if you're an energetic vampire, like a mosquito, right? If you, like, I have O negative blood, and so all mosquitoes like love me. They just like, if I'm sitting next to you, I'm gonna get eaten by mosquitoes and you're not, because I have the blood that mosquitoes love. And so and I don't mean like you're not, but like that happens so frequently to me, where I'll be covered in mosquito bites and everyone else will be like, oh, I didn't really notice them. You know what I mean? Or like me and my son also has a negative. He'll be like, we'll be just covered, and my husband and my daughter will not be. You know, it's just crazy. But anyway, the thing is that it feels like this energy of like, I had the ultimate supply, and then the ultimate supply unplugged from me. The ultimate supply made the choice to leave me. And, you know, I personally don't really feel like people who are narcissistic can change. I just don't. I mean, I believe everybody can change, but I guess what I want to say is that I don't feel like you're going to go from being like super narcissistic to being just like a really good person in this life. I don't know. I've never seen it happen. I've actually only really experienced or seen people who are narcissistic actually get worse with age. But it's like, possibly for some people, if it's not full-blown narcissism or whatever, could you leaving have an effect on this person? Well, will your leaving have an effect on this person? 1,000%. Yes, it will. They will either need to find a new source of supply, but it feels like they're not going to find as high a quality source of supply, which sometimes can really make people fixate on you. You know what I mean? Especially people who are not completely healthy. But I don't really want to go down that path here. It's weird because what I'm seeing is that it may have taken a long time, Pisces, to detach from this energy. But you did. And it feels like it may have taken you a long time to recover with the 8 of Pentacles here. If this is you, it could have been your person. But whoever, I feel like it's whoever detached from this really, I'm just going to say it, cruel energy. It comes across as a cruel energy. They've put the work in. They're doing the work. They're actually becoming stronger. They're actually, it's like they may have even done this in private, like gone home and really, you know, looked long and hard at themselves and everything that made them available to this energy, and healed it and changed it and transmuted it and fixed it. And, you know, because it's kind of like this energy of like, I'm not going to allow myself to be taken advantage of like that again, or to be like, to invest so much in something to have it go so badly. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but it's like I'm going to work on those things. And that's a huge decision. That's a huge choice. And this is with the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles here, this choice or this action or effort to work on oneself, to master the self, is something that it forever changes the tide with the Wheel of Fortune here. You have the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck here, which, you know, sometimes we do have a sense of nostalgia. Oh, wow, look at that. We have a sense of nostalgia for what could have been, or even looking back, you know, especially if you're dealing with a narcissist, they may have love bombed you, or everything might have felt like a fantasy or a storybook at one point. And it may be hard to really let that go, because that may be the best thing that you ever experienced, but it wasn't real. There is something so fantasy about that energy. And with the Four of Cups, it's like it was never actually going to be satisfying. And it was something that once this person set this precedence for it, you were constantly chasing it. You were constantly almost feeling rejected, or why aren't you offering me that anymore? What do I have to do to get that back? You know, you have something new coming in. This is what you actually really desire. It's not the fantasy. It's not the storybook. It's not the thing that, you know, is too good to be true, really, and then can't ever really live up to the hype ever again. It's not a sustainable energy. But it feels like you've done the work, you've mastered the self, you've got yourself to this place where, you know, with the King of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, like you have definitely, you've moved on. You are in a different karmic cycle now than you were at that point. It's like you've kind of taken a cold hard look at all the things that sort of opened you up to that energy to begin with, or maybe even attracted that energy in to begin with, and you have made yourself stronger in all of those ways. And now it's like you can clearly see when someone is presenting that way. Yeah, you know, this is a burdensome cycle that someone has been through. And, you know, it's like carrying all of someone else's weight. And, you know, oftentimes with the Ten of Wands, those burdens are not our own. They're burdens that we ended up taking on because someone else projected them onto us. And, you know, because they weren't able to deal with their own stuff. And they, like, you're kind of like one of two types of people. I feel like you're either someone that does all your processing internally, or you're someone who just does all their processing externally. In other words, there's a feeling inside that I don't like. I don't like how it's making me feel. I don't want to feel this way anymore. It's making me uncomfortable. So then there are the people that take that prompt and say, okay, what is bothering me? How do I fix it? You know, what needs love? What needs nurturing? What needs healing? What, you know, I need to stop and listen to this, and I need to sit with it, and I need to let it come up. I need to let it go, you know? Then there are the other types of people who are like, I have this uncomfortable feeling. It's making me really uncomfortable. It's making me super uncomfortable. And they go, what outside myself do I need to change in order to not feel this sense of discomfort? And, you know, they will project and they will say, well, that person is making me feel this way. I need to destroy that person, or I need to, you know, I need to take it out on that person. Do you see what I'm saying? And so they take it out on that person, and that person, especially if they're an introspective type person, they go, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. you know, and they end up taking on the burden of the other person, which is the point, because that person had a burden they didn't want to carry anymore. It was making them uncomfortable. So they were like, here, you carry it. And they passed it along. And a lot of times an introspective person will take it almost like instinctively, or almost like, how do I want to say it? Like, you know, without processing what's happening, you know, they're like, oh, wow, you know, you're coming at me. I must have done something wrong, or, you know, something must be going on here, and we need to look at this, and da 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 da. And they've kind of unwittingly sort of taken on the burden of the other person. And so the other person is now feeling comfortable, and they may even be feeling more confident, and they are able to move around easier because they've offloaded this burden. But, you know, now you're carrying it. Now you're asking yourself, am I worthy? Am I good enough? You know, did I do something wrong? Is there something fundamentally wrong with me? You know, and then you can become really overwhelmed by all of it. And it feels like, you know, this is the ending of this cycle of being willing to take on other people's burdens. It's kind of like, oh no, I see clearly what is in alignment with me, what is true, what is not true. Because once you go through this cycle, I can say this from experience, once you go through this cycle a few times, you start to really clearly recognize it. And it starts to become really obvious much earlier on. You start seeing the warning flags of it. You start seeing the small betrayals. You stop pushing them away. You stop kind of making excuses for them, or you stop and you start to realize that's a red flag, that's a red flag, that's a red flag. And you distance yourself from it, and you start taking different steps, different approaches. And then when the person comes out full blown with it, you can stand right in front of them, and you can just see the illness. You can just see them spewing this stuff at you, and you're completely non-reactionary. You're just like, wow, you know what I mean? You know, to see it and to know that all of that was in that person, because they don't heal their own wounds, because they don't know how to sit with their own discomfort and move through it and heal it. It's going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up, and they're going to always need someone to project onto. And the thing is, they end up getting really, really lonely, because nobody wants to have crap projected onto them. And the more desperate they become, the more obvious it becomes that that's who they are, and that that's what they're really looking for. But with this King of Swords, with this Ten of Wands, it's like, I am no longer taking other people's burdens on. I see the truth. I see the light. I know what's in alignment with me. I have mastered this energy. I can see very clearly through the communication what is in alignment with me, what is not in alignment with me, what is my burden to bear, and what is your burden to bear. And I will not be taking on anyone else's burdens. I have closed this chapter of my life for good. And with the Emperor on the bottom of the deck, this is like, I am taking control. And it really is for the greater good of all, which when the Emperor is in the light, it is for the greater good of all. And why I say it's for the greater good of all that we do this, and that we don't take on other people's burdens, and that we can clearly see what's in alignment with us and what isn't, is that you're basically, if no one is willing to carry that burden for you, you have no choice but to either carry the burden forever, or to sit down and sit with it and go inward and fix yourself. Every time we fix ourselves, we lessen the entropy on the universe. We lessen the impact on the universe, and the universe becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, and it becomes more based in love. And so we all have to handle our own stuff so that we can come together as love, so that we're not taking stuff out on each other, so that we're not projecting and putting our hurt and our pain onto other people. We have to, at some point, say, I'm sorry that you're hurting, but it is not mine to carry. You have to process that. You have to work through that yourself. You know, I'm not taking it on for you. And that is a decision, and that is a choice that is in the greater good of all, because that person really needs to work through that on their own so that it stops coming up, so that they stop spreading it everywhere, you know, and increasing the entropy on the universe, you know, the burden on the entire universe. All right, so enough that, but let's see. So someone's making a decision here. Someone's seeing things very clearly, and they're not in a place where they're going to be taking on other people's burdens. Wow. Wow. You have a Knight of Wands in reverse with a King of Wands. This is a big maturation level. This is someone who, you know, what they want is perpetually changing. It's like, oh, that looks good over there. Oh, wow, now I want this over here. Like, everybody knows somebody like that, you know, where it's like, I want this so bad right now, and they're pursuing it. And then it's like, oh, well, as I was pursuing that, I found this over here. Now I want this, and I'm going over here. And, you know, the grass is always greener, and there's always a better deal. There's always something else that, you know, is worth investing in. And they're always chasing, you know, what is going to make them happy, what they desire. That person is letting go of that energy to really focus on one true desire, one true passion. And it is what they want, and it is what is worth fighting for. And it is something that I feel like they are getting some kind of opportunity on in divine timing, you know, when everything aligns, when everything is right. And with the Ten of Wands and the Knight of Wands in reverse, it can be where, you know, someone, you know, was sort of falling prey to people who really wanted them. It's almost like the energy of love bombing. I mean, it really is. It's like, I come in and I'm all excited, and I want you more than anything in the entire world, and I'm super happy to be here, and I feel so lucky to have this chance, and you're out of my league, but you're giving me this chance. But then this person is like, oh, now there's something else over there. I conquered this. They may have even been somebody who, you know, really liked dating for the first 2 months, where it was like everything was new and everything was exciting, and getting you to fall in love with me was like a challenge, and it was exciting. And now that I have you, well, it's not as exciting anymore, and now you want things from me, and I don't know that I'm ready to give that to you. And so, you know, it's time. So now I'm gonna leave my burden with you, and I'm gonna head on out the door, to where this person can see through that. This person knows that that's not in alignment with what they really want long term. So now they're only looking at people who really know what they want overall, and are going after it. With consistency and with stick-to-itiveness. I don't know what that word is, but, you know, where it's like, I want this, I've always wanted this, I'm looking for this, I'm not compromising, I'm not, you know, dating other people when what I really want is a wife or a long-term commitment. I'm very focused on what I want, and what I want at hand, being at hand. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is the end for real. This is like the closing of some kind of cycle of someone dealing with people where they may have felt like they were always walking on eggshells, or where there was always a sense of imbalance, or whether somebody wanted them one day but then not the other day, or where, you know, somebody's fears would creep in, and then they'd say, well, I can't give you what you want because I'm too scared to give you what you want, or because this happened or that happened. This is an energy of excuses, and of someone always keeping someone off balance, and always kind of not ever really knowing possibly even where they stand. This cycle is closing, and now you have like serious contenders only. It's interesting. Wow. With the Five of Pentacles upright, with the Queen of Cups underneath it, you know, these are all those basic human fears. And the thing is, we have the opportunity to kind of master these fears. We all have them, and we're always going to have them, right? There's always going to be some little part of us that's like, oh no, I hope they don't abandon me. I hope they don't reject me. I hope I'm good enough, da 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 da. But you can see in this particular Five of Pentacles, this isn't the like wounded, damaged person that's stuck outside the church. This is someone who has put all these things in their rightful place and is actually even using these things for good. I don't know if you can see that. The sun is coming in a really weird angle. But you can see this confident hand flipping this coin. Like, I've got this down to a science. I know how to control these things. These things are in my tool belt, not my, they're not my Achilles tendon. I've learned how to manage these things just fine on my own. And that is giving me the opportunity to be and to have unconditional love with the Queen of Cups. With the Chariot, this is a very well-balanced connection that has a chance of being very successful. Yeah, we're trusting our intuition now. We're not letting people fool us. You have the High Priestess and you have the Magician. And you have the Strength card. Yeah, wow. What an intense reading. Oh my God. So with the High Priestess, it's like, all those times when my intuition told me something was up with this person, or that maybe I couldn't trust them, or that maybe they were going to end up hurting me in the end. All those times that I didn't listen to it, I ate the pomegranate seeds knowing that that was going to sentence me to hell. You know what I mean? Even though I knew it was a pomegranate, I knew it was a red flag, I ate it anyway, or I thought I could handle it anyway, or I thought it wouldn't be that big a deal anyway. Now I have wisdom on my side. Now I'm listening to my higher and better self that is warning me against these things, and I refuse to fall for them. I've closed this chapter of my life. With the Chariot and the Magician here, it's like, I am the alchemist. I am the master of my own fate. I have all the tools that I need to handle life as it comes. Nothing can slow me down. Nothing can get me off course. As long as I only partner with people who are also alchemists in their life and who are also alchemizing for the good, right? Remember that Magician that we saw earlier on the bottom of the deck, where it was like, using deception as a tool, or, becoming the King of Pentacles, someone who was basically unfuckwithable because everything that they touched, they turned into a gift. They looked for the gift in it. And it's like, you have done that. You have succeeded in this mission. You have become that. And now that you've become that, you are ready for this partnership with someone who is equally yoked. Someone who also has overcome their lower vibrational tendencies, or, the lower vibrational tendencies of all man, these fears that we come equipped with, that we have to learn how to manage. Yeah, those fears that will be the blockage, the delay, the obstacle, until we deal with them, until we learn how to manage them instead of letting them manage us, right? Wow. All right, so let's get some messages. You guys, a lot of your comments have just been blowing my mind, and my heart chakra is so full. Like, when you tell me I'm part of your healing journey, and when you tell me that, the things that we talk about on this channel have helped you, I am so grateful, because, the reason I know these things, and the reason that I have come to find these things, is through my own suffering, through my own journey. And so when you say those things to me, what you're saying to me is my suffering was not in vain. That, what I went through is now helping other people, which makes me feel that it's like turning it into a gift, right? And you're becoming that person too, or you are that person too, because look, you're commenting to me and it's hitting me in the heart chakra. So you're giving back to me that same thing. It's just this is the way the world can be, you know? And I feel like that's where we're headed. Like, I don't know, but this reading really filled me with a lot of hope for a lot of things, not just Pisces love relationships. Okay, but here we go. So if you're dealing with a water sign, your words speak to me like no others can. Repressing, stuck. Suddenly, all the songs I hear are about you. I am still moved by you. If you are dealing with a fire sign, yeah, I have no need to control life because, yeah, as it comes, it is what I need it to be. Life is what I need, not outcomes or expectations. I don't know. If you're dealing with a fire sign, I miss you more than you know. We will be together again. What we have is soul recognition. You are the one. I just need more time. And if you're dealing with an earth sign, you're getting resentment. You changed my whole direction. I just want to go back in time. I don't care what people think anymore, and distant. And if you are dealing with an air sign, you are getting, I don't want to let you down. I want a future with you. I'm sorry I triggered you. Fantasizing. Be patient with me, please. And I won't let you go. All right, guys, this is what I have for you. I really hope it helps. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I really do appreciate you guys so much. And I thank you, thank you, thank you. Just for your beautiful words and for your support and for your views and for your likes and for your comments and just for everything. I am really so grateful. So thank you. Until next time, guys, I'm sending you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.